Writing for the Timid presents Mastering Proper MLA Format and 11 Words You Should Avoid. So answer me this. Which statement is true about MLA format? Take a moment, highlight the correct answer, and check me on the backside. If you selected A, you are exactly right. Times New Roman is the only approved font for MLA. You have to cite everything when you cite information from a website in your paper, not just a website. You got to cite articles, TV shows, newspapers, interviews, movies, everything, not just a website. Your margins are actually at an inch, and they're automatically set regardless of what document application you use. And page numbers are only required on the pages that have actual written information. Your title page does not need a page number. So let's talk about the gist of MLA. It stands for Modern Language Association. It's the most common and used citation style. It is the preferred citation method you'll use in all of your classes in high school. Now, in some of your AP level classes or your science classes, you'll be taught APA, American Psychological Association, and you'll use that also in high school. Now, the whole purpose of MLA is to highlight guidelines for preparing student research papers and projects and scholarly manuscripts in humanities. Now, MLA format was created because all the Ivy League schools had different ways of citing their research sources, and they wanted to have a universal one so that regardless of where their paper was read, everyone would know where to go to look for their sources. So MLA format refers to the system of citing those research sources. So, question 2. Based on what you've learned, which MLA paper requirement does not belong? If you said C, the page number is in the bottom right of the footer with the last name, you are absolutely correct. It's actually at the top right of the paper. So how do you format your paper MLA style? There are 4 key components you must always do. First, your paper must be 12-point font size and Times New Roman. Your paper must be double-spaced. Your page number is in the top right of the header with the last name, i.e. Winsley 1, Cagle 1, your last name, page 1. Your name is listed in a specific way. And I also will add this, and here's an important tip. Your name and course information are listed in a specific way and a specific order. So let's talk about that paper heading some more. Now on the left side or the top of your paper, you're going to have your name, first and last, the teacher name, first and last, or the preferred way the teacher wants to be called. So if you have a teacher that's a doctor, they may want you to include doctor followed by their name, or professor. Some teachers just want their last name. The teacher will always let you know the way they want their name listed on your paper. You always want to have the class or course information, and then you want to lead with the date. And it's not the normal way we do the date that you learned in elementary school. In MLA format, the day and the month are switched. So you have the day first, the month in the middle, and then the year is last. Another important tip, in the date, the day and the month are switched. So this is what a typical MLA formatted paper looks like without the page number at the top. So as you can see, you have your 4 key pieces of your header. And then if you notice, the title is centered. The title right here is centered. This is the only part of your paper that actually is not transitioned or adjusted to the left. The title is separate, and that's why it's centered. You also want to make sure that when you are beginning to type your paragraph, you want to make sure that you go back to the left to start your paragraph. And a lot of writers I see where they center their title, they hit enter, and they forget to move it back to the left. And so their entire essay is centered. And there are some teachers who are so specific with MLA format that they will not grade your paper because it is not left justified. So just something to remember. So now that you've learned a little bit about MLA headings, I want you to look at the MLA headings below. And based on what you've learned, circle the correct MLA heading. If you said B, you are exactly correct. Now, if you notice, B and C are oddly very similar, but there's one key difference, the comma after the month. Another important tip, never use a comma with the date in MLA format. Always, always, always stick with the format in choice B. In MLA format, you don't need a comma to separate the month from the day. Why? Because the day came first. Let's talk about titles. Let me see what you know. Look at the 3 titles for the Epic of Gilgamesh. Which title is correct using proper MLA formatting and capitalization rules? If you said B and C, you are exactly correct. Now, why wasn't A correct? Simple reason. Of and words like a, and, or, and the are considered articles. And in MLA formatting and titling of actual works, you never capitalize an article unless it's the first word in a work. Another important VIP. So now that we're talking about MLA and capitalization, let me give you some more details. You always want to make sure that you capitalize the following. The first letter in a sentence. Proper nouns, names of people, names of places, names of things. And you also want to make sure you capitalize titles. So titles of movies, works, books, or titles of people. So if somebody is a doctor or Mr. or Mrs., you want to make sure that you capitalize that. Let's talk about numbers. Numbers, never begin a sentence with a number first. And you always want to spell it out. So it's not the numerical number 2, it's TWO. Also, important VIP. All numbers between 0 and 99 must be spelled out. So it's not 87, numerical 8, numerical 7, it's 87. EIGHTY hyphen SEVEN. Those numbers above 100 are optional, but you must remain consistent. What I personally do is when I have numbers over 100, I simply just write out the numeric digits. So if it's 250, I write 250. If it's once again 78, then I write out the actual letter for the numbers, SEVENTY hyphen EIGHT. Let's talk a little bit more about your title. First off, it should be centered. We already went over that. What I want to talk about is formatting. Sometimes people get a little extra in their title. They want to make it bigger. They want to put it bold. They want to make it in italics. You don't do that. So when you have your title, it's the same font and size as everything else. So no bolding, no italics, no underlining, no increasing the font size. That is all I have for mastering proper MLA format. You're going to go ahead and stop the video here, and you're going to proceed the rest of the lesson, 11 words you should avoid, through Google Slides. Have a good day.